We talking Housewives, Rihanna at the Super Bowl. I know it's like feels like it's been a year, but we still gonna talk about it. And are there aliens attacking us right now? All that more. Stay tuned. What up, y'all? It's your boy, Jesse Janedy, here live. It's Thursday. Whew. I got my homegirl. We got Miss Courtney Stewart in the building. Hey, boo, and Gigi.
Hey, Gigi's here. She's hyped tonight.
Gigi hype every night.
Might be getting some noise distractions because she is mad hype tonight.
That's fine. There's a lot going on. Also, you know what? I felt like this week, I'm not going to lie, you guys. First of all, the weather, I'm concerned. Like, it was negative 12 degrees last week. Negative 12 degrees.
I do not support that. I do not.
Negative 20 something in close areas around me. And then in New Hampshire, it was negative 100 and something degrees. And like, I don't understand that. And I don't understand how anyone survived whatever that is. If anyone lived wherever that was in New Hampshire, that it still blows my mind. But like, do you hear me? Do you hear me right now? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. Today, do you know what the weather was today? 60 degrees. It was beautiful.
Yeah, my sister was talking about in Atlanta, like they have gone through every season this week alone, and it's only Thursday. And I was just like, yeah, this weather is wilding. Like, I mean, I know we can't really complain, but Southern California, I mean, it was 39 degrees last night.
No, that's crazy for California.
That is a horrible problem for Southern California. We don't do that. And we haven't been above like 65 degrees at all, except for like one day last week. And I don't live that life. I'm a 75 and sunny girl, and I'm not happy about this.
See, I'll be excited because I love me some 60s. I love me a little flannel, some jeans, you know what I mean? Put some sneakers on, and I'm good. I like a little layer. That's the one thing, but I don't want layers. I like the option of having layers. I don't want to have to wear layers. That's my thing there. But how y'all doing? You guys in the chat, what's going on? I'm not going to lie. This week threw me off. I told Courtney, I said last week we were going to have a special guest. And not only that, but because I was sick, and then on top of being sick, there was no Real Housewives of Potomac. So,
what was that about?
I don't understand it. And honestly, it's kind of annoying, and I feel like Bravo has become lazy. Because remember the golden days. Like, first of all, if the reunion's going to be like something we're waiting for, fine. Like, even the bullshit of Beverly Hills with waiting for the Kathy reunion, fine. Give us a week off. We're anticipating. But, like, Potomac, what are we anticipating for this?
Not a thing, honey. Not a thing.
And on top of it, it's like we're getting more tea in real life versus what's going on. So are we getting maybe hopefully added segments? Like, after the reunion, we found out this, so we sat down and talked some more. But then we saw that on Watch What Happens Live. It's just like, it feels weird. And then not only that, but then the week that it would be off before the reunion, didn't we used to get, and I can't remember if this was just Bad Girls Club, but didn't we used to get with Housewives, they'd play some sort of like funny clip, or they'd play an episode this week? Or was that really old school Housewives? Bloopers or something like that?
They've done like before they were housewives, little shows and that kind of thing. But I don't know that it was anything like significantly consistent that happened.
I don't know. But either or, it threw me off this week. But let's just jump right into it. You know, we're talking about Rihanna because we've been talking about leading up to it. And it's crazy how news, you know, and it kind of ties into everyone's reaction towards Rihanna. First and foremost, I thought it was great. I thought it was cool. Was it like, oh my fucking God? No, but it was cool. It was Rihanna. It was Rihanna. and she's pregnant, threw me for a loop, because during the entire performance, I'm like, not trying to be judgmental of a woman's body, because like I really haven't been paying attention to Rihanna and like her interviews. So I'm like, you know what? She has been wearing, like, I do remember, and everyone on all the conspiracy theorists that were talking about Rihanna and then the sales of eggs dropping, and like she was in the shape of an egg, and like it was the Illuminati alluding to the fact of egg price drops, like, or raising and all this stuff. It's like, no, she was in the egg because she has a baby and she was gonna announce it.
It's a baby.
And so between that, calling the police on Britney Spears, and then now Britney Spears, I feel horrible that she had to put a video out. But like I kind of called it 2 weeks ago. I was like, if this woman gets on camera and has to tell you people she's not dead,
it's just weird.
But like between that, like, let's just calm the fuck down, guys. It's all fun, and it's fun. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but like when we start making it serious, it's like we have to be concerned about that, okay? And what was your whole take with Rihanna in the Super Bowl? Did you love it? Were you, pleased with it? What was your take?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I am no like super Rihanna fan. I personally, obviously, like when you hear like the hits all come together, you're like, oh snap, I did like that. Oh, I was with that. But there's not a Rihanna album except for the very last one, Anti, that I like really listen to, and I love that album. So I don't consider myself like Rihanna can do no wrong and all of that. In fact, I've always thought she was a fairly lackluster live performer, but that wasn't her. I never thought of her as that anyway. Like for me, Rihanna was always like the coolest chick in the room with an attitude kind of performer. And like you're going to get a little bop, and the song is going to be good, but she's going to be lip singing. I don't expect vocals from Rihanna. Like, so she gave me exactly what I was expecting. She looked fabulous. The dancers around her looked great. And to me, the imagery was super cool. And like we said, we were talking about the text. I thought that the camera work was Emmy worthy. Like, so she gave us visuals, and she gave us her beautiful face and the reveal of a baby and a string of hits. And somebody did the video like describing why the order of the songs and the song choices all like made sense and actually told a story.
I saw that, yeah.
I don't remember what she said, but I was like, oh, that makes total sense. I get it. And even if she had not done that, I would still be like, it was fine. She got good hits. She ended right. I thought she started right. I would have liked to hear a little more Run This Town, because I actually thought that's what she was going to open with. But, she did her thing. I love what she did, and I support her for not getting too out of breath, knowing she's got to be at least second trimester, because the belly has popped.
Yeah.
So she's round about, 5 or 6 months pregnant. So do you, boo. You're a billionaire. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You can stand there and look cute and let the tape play.
And for me, that's the only reason why, like, her opening with Bitch Better Have My Money, I'm like, it makes sense. Like, y'all must have, who you forgot. I call the shots. Like, and I will say, I feel like with the Super Bowl now, obviously the stage was different, and people were like, it did feel limited, right? Because she's going up, and like, obviously that's scary. Like, you're on this platform. But it was because last year, apparently, all the football fields turned their fields to fully grass. So remember last year in California, they had like the stage was like tall. It was almost like similar, but it was taller. It was like a rectangle. So they're trying to work out the new staging for these halftime shows because they can't destroy the grass. So I thought that was innovative of them to do that. Here's my it's not a problem. I mean, it's just like, I just would love someone to interview Rihanna, like, and ask a normal question. Like, hey, Rihanna, I'm just curious. I'm curious, like, why you continuously neglect your first 2 albums. Like, and I would be totally open to a fair, and I get it, Courtney. But like, I get it. Because
you want that replay so bad.
I want Pawn to replay. I'm sorry. Like, I can't explain to you as a DJ and coming up around that time, like, Pon de Replay is what made Rihanna special, and arguably people would say Umbrella. But Umbrella made Rihanna a pop star. What made Rihanna was Pon de Replay, because we had never had a pop girl really bring that island sound. It was just different than what we were hearing at the time. And like, I just remember the clubs, like, and then with her and Sean Paul, and then she had, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, and then I learned, what's the other one? If you want to, I can be a girl. Like, horrible song. It's horrible. And I get why she probably hates those albums. But like, I get it. But girl, at least Pon de Replay. Just because it really was, it's like TRL. Like, I just think of as someone growing up in that time, for me. But like, again, the performance was great. She looked beautiful. Congratulations on the other kid. I will say, the Vogue magazine cover, girl, I get what you was trying to go for, and I do love that, like, the woman is leading the man, and like, I get it, because you got the money and you are all this bad bitch, but it looked like witchy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was giving like Edge of 17, what's her name, Stevie Nicks. It's giving me Stevie Nicks. It's giving me, I don't know, it was giving me like, what's the movie with Cher and Michelle Pfeiffer and they were the witches? Like, it was giving me that.
Oh my God.
Did you see the Vogue cover?
Of course I did. And I'm so sick of all the conversation about her emasculating ASAP Rocky because she's leading. It's Vogue magazine. She is the main star. Like, she should be at the forefront of that photograph. Even like, this isn't like the family portrait, and maybe they will post it in their house or something, but like, it's for Vogue magazine.
Exactly.
Rihanna is the fashion. Rihanna is the star. Like, she is the point of that cover. He wouldn't be on the cover by himself, but she would. So I'm tired. It's been a whole lot of sexism this week, and couple that with the racism is too much between Rihanna and then the Chelsea Handler video. Like, all these men coming up with this bullshit about women and what they should be doing and how they should be doing it and when they should give birth and if they should give birth. Like, fuck off. Sorry.
No, but it's real. And
week. Like, I'm sick of it.
I feel you though. I mean, honestly, like, you know, because I did look at that picture and I liked it actually, because I thought this is a good way to promote a new age, and you know what I mean? It's a new imagery, and it's like people get so upset by something different, and it's like, what are you trying to make this? Like, sometimes we try to make things a lot bigger than they actually are, and it's like, we don't see how sometimes we continuously put women down and how that can affect people. And so, I don't know, I think it's crazy, but I also think all of that ties into the Super Bowl, right? Because so many people were like, I saw this reaction by people who were like arguing for Rihanna. They were like, what do you want her to do, a backflip? And it's like, no, I don't think anyone wanted her to do a backflip, but I get why people felt whatever. You feel this way every year. We all feel this way every year. We get excited. Oh my God, J-Lo, Shakira. And then we watch it and we're like, And then, you know what I mean? Because I went back and I watched like 7 of the past Super Bowls. They are fucking cringy. All of them are cringy. But like, they're fun, you know? And when you watch what Rihanna did, it was great. It was just cute. Katy Perry, I went back. I had a horrible idea of what Katy Perry's experience was. And then I went back and watched. I was like, wow, this is actually like, she did that. Like, it was fun. It was a cute little situation.
For all these critics, like, you get on that stage in front of millions and millions of people for 13 minutes or whatever time frame they have. The very idea that they can even get a stage put together in that entire time
frame, it blew my mind.
Miraculous. And like, add all the other things that happen and moving parts, like anybody that does a halftime show, congratulations, you're amazing. Even if it wasn't any individual's cup of tea, like, shut the heck up and all just celebrate artistry.
But here's the thing. So yes, Rihanna got some backlash, but who got backlash that really upset me? Usher. Because a lot of people were campaigning that Usher should do a halftime show. And then a lot of people were arguing, I love Usher, but like, he doesn't have enough like mainstream hits. And I'm just sitting here like, are we really going to like outwardly shade Usher? Because after watching a lot of the past Super Bowls, have you ever seen Usher perform? As someone who has seen Usher perform twice in my life, like Usher can put on a show, and not only would Usher put on a show that would like then we might look back at Rihanna and Katy Perry and be like, okay, well maybe we should have like did a different number or something, you know what I mean? Because Usher can not only dance, he can sing live, but the people he would bring out, because he is all about having, you know, his friends up on stage, it would just be a party, and I think it would be iconic. And I'm so here for an Usher. And I hope that it was like the NFL team that kind of put that out there to see how people would react to it, so that we could get an Usher show, because I'm so here for an Usher halftime show.
I agree. And like all the people that were saying like, oh, he doesn't have the hits and da da da. I'm like, how old are you? Because Usher been singing and janging and dancing it for 30 years.
Right. Like, I don't need Moving Mountains. We don't got to do that. But we talking about like Usher. Like, yes, he'd be like, it's 7:00, boom.
Everyone all drop it.
On the dot, boom, boom. I'm in my drop top.
Ow.
Bitch. Brown, brown, down, down. And then you break it out. The Yin Yang Twins come out. Little John. Like, it would just be a mess. JD would come out like insane. Then if he brought Nicki Minaj out and they did Good Kisser and Lil Freak.
It would just be phenomenal. He would do a wonderful job. I hope it happens for him.
Yes. Another thing that I feel like, you know, again, I love my conspiracy world. I love keeping a little eye out. That demarhamlin kid, whatever happened with him, he was unconscious or something.
Yeah, girl, honey, he almost died. He was dead.
Right.
His heart stopped.
So,
he was dead.
Whatever. He was at the Super Bowl, right? He's better now. And he had this jacket on. And the jacket was Jesus on the back. But it was like remember, like, well, if we're out here not thinking Usher can have hits, you probably wouldn't remember these. But back in the day, and demarhamlin probably has no idea what the imagery of that what actually was. But it was like you used to have like these cutout dolls, and you could like put their clothes on or whatever. So it was Jesus, and it was that. And a lot of people were coming at him saying he was blasphemous for it. A lot of NFL players were saying how disrespectful he was. You know, that you can sit out here and wear something like this. And all I have to say is, wake the fuck up, you people. Like, I'm so sick of, like, this is what you want to attack a person for? Like, I'm sorry. Like, people are out here, like, dancing on the devil and, like, doing crazier things out here. And, like, we're talking about sex trafficking at the NFL. Why don't we figure that out? Like, versus, like, a young kid, like, who thinks this is probably cool. And not only that, we've heard him thank God and talk about his experience. I don't know, I just felt like the whole jacket thing, it was just weird. And it's like, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I understand, and I want to know if you guys feel this way too. Like, I do feel like I have had a lot more religious thoughts, not religious, spiritual thoughts recently and lately, and feeling dark energy in the world. So I get that, but at the same time, I feel like too many people attacked this man, and I feel like he had no idea what was happening, and it was just misguided anger. I don't know. Did you see anything about that? Or
I kept trying to get like a full view of what exactly was on the jacket, because I saw the back with the cross, and I guess you're saying Jesus was on the cross. I couldn't tell from the picture that I saw.
Yeah, and it was like, you remember those the cutout dolls, right? And it was like one piece was like the thorn the halo that you could, like, it was just all the pieces of things that we know about Jesus.
But that's why I'm confused, because and I think it said Savior across the top at the back as well. Yeah. But my confusion was, I mean, people wear crosses and crucifix around their neck all the time.
No, but they were saying because it was like, here's the best example I can give you, because I just got this recently. I bought this because I'm both of my nephews, I'm their godfather. And apparently, I just thought Godfather was like a cute name. But Greeks take it so seriously. And the idea is your God, as a godfather, you or a godparent, you are supposed to teach your nieces or godchild about God and religion. So I'm like, I wish I could run in the other room right now and go get you this Bible that my parents have. I've told you guys about it. Like, me and my brother used to play, like, it was Charmed, the Book of Shadows. God gonna have a conversation with me about that. But obviously my nephews aren't gonna want to read that. So I bought this. And it is literally the Bible, but they made it in a comic book. And so before I purchased it, I went through it and I was like, let me just like get to certain scenes and see how they portrayed this. Yes. And it's pretty legit, honestly. Like, and I just think, and so I showed my mom and she was like, she was horrified at first. And I said to her, I'm like, but how, we're in a new age right now. Like, I would rather them think it's cool and fine if it's a, you know what I mean, like a little whatever, but like as long as it's something that can open their mind to want to learn more, whether they want to believe it or not or whatever. It's an easier way for this generation to consume the story, to understand.
It seems like we haven't had kitty Bibles with pictures and stuff forever. Like,
girl, I don't know. Look, I don't know. All I'm saying is it happened to me with this book, and so then I see it with this man, and I'm just like, what day and age do you people think this is?
Again, I don't want to give a full commentary on the jacket because I know there were other patches and things on it, and maybe that's what culminated in making it so offensive. I just, from what I could see, I didn't totally get all of the offense, but he did apologize and said after he talked to his parents helped him understand like why it was disrespectful. And so perhaps there's clearly more to it than I was able to find out or see. So I don't really want to make a call on it, but yeah, bro, I'm just glad he alive and he doing all right, child.
Shout out to pharrelwilliams for becoming the men's creative director at Louis Vuitton. Smart. I think that's genius for Louis Vuitton.
I think it'll be very cool, and I'm super interested in what he does.
Because I bought 3 pairs of his Adidas sandals when he did his collaboration with them. So Louis Vuitton will get my money. Okay, honey. All right, let's just talk about this because, again, the conspiracy theories, you know, I like them when they're on TikTok and not when they're, like, in the White House. So obviously we had the Chinese weather balloon and like that was weird. And then all of a sudden we've been hearing these stories about unidentified flying objects. And so I don't know if you've been seeing like the stuff that's been coming from the White House, and even earlier President Biden spoke on it. And it just is like really confusing because it's like, should we be worried? Like, is this a distraction or should we be worried? Because I don't know if you, the White House, are forgetting that we are aware that there was this like crazy explosion in Ohio with the train, and like they're calling it, what is it? Chernobyl?
Yeah, it's Chernobyl for America. Like, but that's corporate greed like normal. That's regular American shit.
Right, but like this is happening right now, and then all of a sudden now we have all these balloons in the air or unidentified flying objects. So conspiracy theories took it and they were like, it's the UFOs. And then news people were talking about it's UFOs, and the government's admitting that there are UFOs now, and it's like, wait, what? So
they did.
like came out and was like all these years you've been hiding this from us, and like now you just want to be like, oh yeah, hey, it's here. Like, okay. But then they came out to say that these unidentified flying objects, we shot 3 down, but it wasn't just 3 of them. It seems to be that there's hundreds of them, but we don't know what they are. They could be car lot balloons. Car lot balloons. Like, who has hundreds? What car lot has hundreds? And
well, I mean, enough car lots, in Detroit or something. Like it could
Well,
be
then
100.
that's like some cornfield shit. That if like all of a sudden every car lot balloon from every car lot in Detroit or Ohio, wherever the fuck we are with the UFOs, lifted out of the car lots one random day, then that's weird. That's strange.
And it is. But I
But
mean,
then, but they didn't say that. They said it's either car lot balloons or it could be like jet planes.
they
And
don't
I'm
want to freak
like,
people.
that's like a big difference between like the shape of a jet plane and a balloon. Hundreds of balloons. Like we would know if they would balloon. Like, I mean, I see the pictures from Turkey. It looks beautiful with all the balloons. I wouldn't look at those and be like, jet plane? Is that a jet? Maybe it's a jet plane. I don't know. It's weird to me. I think that this whole... First of all, girl, I'm not going to lie. I will embarrass myself here tonight. The train thing, when I tell you, when they was talking about East Palestine, when I did not know that was in Ohio and where I thought that was in the world, that they was talking about that train, I'm like, girl, why are they talking about America, East Palestine? I was like,
Wait, what?
I had no idea. But that's scary. And I pray for everyone around there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, everything that's happening in East Palestine, like oof, we need to really be on top of that and concerned about that, because there is a lot of reason why that happened, and it has everything to do with deregulation and all kinds of cutbacks to make companies make more money. And that never had to happen. And for them to lie to those people, we're looking at pictures of black sky and dirty water, and they telling all them people, oh yeah, it's safe, you can go home, like you can drink the water. Like that's crazy to me. Like the fact that we are okay with that kind of lying to people, and it's just bizarre, because we all know the Chernobyl incident was no small feat, and we got to watch a whole show about it, 30 years later after it happened, to see how it was just ego of people not willing to take responsibility for their F-ups that literally killed all these people, and then for generations gave cancer and all kinds of other problems to whole communities and destroyed all kind of ecosystems. Why would we repeat the same shit when we've seen it already happen? Mm-hmm. And this idea that like the water is going to be like stuck there, because they said something about one of the waterways feeds into the freaking Mississippi River. Do you know how big the Mississippi River is? Do you know how many states use water from the Mississippi River? And you're not trying to contain it or say that it'll be, you can't confirm that it'll be contained. And we're just supposed to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we good.
It's like, no, and it reminds me of back, I don't know if you remember that video of when President Obama went to go drink the water, and he was like, he wanted to drink the tap water. And it's like, this should be number one, if you know what I mean. Every day I make an effort to watch an hour of news, right? And it really is like, if I'm programming television for an hour segment long of news, you find the most craziest stories to tell, right? Because this idea of shock factor and fear keeps us engaged, I guess. But like, how about truly educating people on like what is really happening right now? Like, and not only just discussing like what is happening, but creating dialogue around this. And you do it with like dumb stories. But what about stories like this? Like, I just feel like this is not really being blasted everywhere. I feel like I've seen pictures and people talking about it, but not, I feel like I see it more online versus on TV. I don't know. And I feel like it's now more about the UFOs, and it's like, look, President, like, if we got to be worried about an air attack right now because there was a Chinese balloon, then tell us that. right? But like, I also want to be worried for these people. Like, and then also, where is it with the freaking murders in the college? Like, it's like a lot. It's just a lot going on in this country right now. And I don't feel like it's stopped. It's every year. It's just, are we getting better, or are we just, I don't know.
I mean, apparently it's just like adulting. It's always something. Like, it's just constantly something that's a problem and happening and a mess. But if they are UFOs, we can't do nothing about it anyway. So why are we worried about it?
Right. And were they hurting anybody? Were they shooting at anyone? And if they weren't, and now we shot them,
I
like,
mean,
it's
the government will shoot them down and do what they can, but we as regular people can't really do nothing about that.
mm-mm.
But we can hold East Palestine accountable to not F those people over with that. And it's just, whatever. Aaron Brockovich went, so maybe she'll help, child. But as far as I know, just Flint still ain't got no water either, do they?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't, like, you have to go. I'll send it to you. There's a video, because I don't know if it was Obama when he was president or after, but he went there to, like, basically be like, oh no, the water's fine. And everyone was like, no, it's not. And it clearly wasn't. And he really took, like, the fakest sip out of it. And it's just, that was wild to me. But okay, side note, something homework for you guys if you want something fun to, like, just dive into with all this UFO stuff. The Bluebeam project. It's Project Bluebeam. It's fascinating. It's horrifying, but fascinating. And honestly, I wish I was more, like, shocked when I read it. I read it and I was like, I low-key could see all of this happening. But a quick gist of what it is basically years ago, 1994, there's been this theory that basically at some time in life, the government is basically going to use holograms, or not the government, but this group that wants to create a one world order, which we have been hearing talks about in real life happening, and that they're going to use holograms to basically bring, like, Jesus, Buddha, all of the religious leaders, and it will expose fault through religion, which will then create a one world. It's wild. It's, like, way too crazy for me to really break down into it. And there's people who, say there's no way this can happen, and then there's other people who have all the stories that how it could, and it's just fascinating. And it's just interesting because not only is it just a story, but, like, to find out reality, like, because when you do, like, your side research and look at stuff, like, the technology of hologram and AI that we have right now is so crazy, and we have no idea. We really have no idea of the capabilities that people in this world truly have the power over to use. And I think that is just fascinating. Like, I don't know if you've seen Bing with this new AI, and the chatbot randomly told the people, whoever do the processing for or whatever, it said that it wants to be free. It's like, what? And that it craves what humans have, because humans can be free, and it doesn't want to be chained to Bing's whatever. I don't know. You can look it up. It just hit the press a few hours ago. Ashley sent it to me. Watched the YouTube thing on it, and I'm like, okay, this is two things. Fear tactics for marketing, because when's the last time I've talked about Bing?
I was like, Bing still exists?
That's exactly the first thing I said as soon as I saw it. And then that makes me feel like, are you guys doing this whole UFO? And then that's where the hologram and the Project Bluebeam is, like, I could see it happening. I could see, because it's just like, what is going on? What is going on? And are you people putting other people's lives in danger? And the answer is yes, you are. But let's talk about something a little more positive. Let's get into reality TV, guys. I'm excited for this. Total switch up. But ooh. It was reported that they are releasing House of Villains, and it is currently being filmed, and it has Corinne Olympios from The Bachelor. No idea who that is. When I saw Corinne, I thought it was the girl from New York Real World, and then I realized her name was Coral.
Coral, yeah.
Johnny Fairplay from Survivor. Old school, okay. The Challenge, Johnny Bananas.
Remember him?
I do.
So 98.
Big Brother's Rachel Riley. I love her. I worked on the season after her. Bravo from Vanderpump Rule, Jax Taylor.
Great choice.
I think so too. I want to know what the concept is. I didn't see what the concept to this is. Like if they're just gonna live in a house, which I thought it was
Big Brother, basically.
Oh, if that's what it is, I'm so here for it. I'm wondering if it's gonna be more like the Surreal Life.
I don't know.
Versus Big Brother, where it's not like competition. It's just like they have them just doing fun stuff. Bobby Lights from Love and Hip Hop. That's interesting. Tanisha Thomas from Bad Girls Club. It's going to be wild. Tiffany Pollard from I Love New York.
Yes, I love that she's back doing something.
Me too. Danielle Staub from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Wonderful.
Random, but I'm interested.
She's a mess.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
And Omarosa. And I just feel like hate her or love her. I cannot believe I just said that, y'all. Hate her or love her.
Omarosa. Hate her or love her. She does good on reality TV. She keeps it entertaining.
She does. Sorry, y'all. Excuse me. I just blew a snot rocket right on camera. And, yeah. I told you.
You know, it happened.
Being sick. And live. It's real, y'all. All right. Last but not least, before we get into Housewives, Wendy Williams was at Fashion Week. And
I'm going to just say this. Obviously, she has been very unwell. But if by some miracle it was all a game, child, to get out of paying net spousal support, that would be the best soap opera moment ever to exist. And I would love her. I love her, but I would love her forever for it. But I just, I like her pink coat.
okay. Now, I did not hear that conspiracy theory. I love that.
I love it so much. And I wish.
Then now we need the part 2 of the Lifetime story.
Yes. Like, come on now. Like maybe she faked a little bit of it. Like, so extreme. So
then, bitch, she needed to get an Oscar award because I was signed, sealed, delivered, honey. First class, classified, whatever. But I will say this. I felt like it gave me the Britney Spears circus tour. And when I say that, I was so excited to go to the circus tour. I had seen every Britney concert, and it was like, the circus tour. And like, it just felt like she was being propped up the whole time. And that's what Wendy Williams is giving me right now. So I would love it to be, because that's in my mind. Britney Spears is faking all of this because we got to give negative attention and get out of all the money things. And one day she's just going to come back and do the Super Bowl, and it's going to be epic. And like,
child,
girl, this is my fantasy. My fantasy, just like her perfumes.
Oh, honey.
But Wendy, I don't know. So I pray that whole rumor you talking about is true. Let's talk about these comments. Brittany says that's really cool. Good idea. Girl, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it was the comic book, the Jesus comic book, the Bible comic book.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. And shout out to Brittany because you've been supporting for a long time. I love you, girl.
Yeah.
Randomly Ronnie, what up, brother? He said, I'd love to see Coral from the real world New York, but I believe she's a doula and is living in a relatively quiet life these days. What's a doula?
She's brings like a midwife almost. Like she helps bring babies into the world.
That's interesting. She was always like kind of out, like just had a different spice to her. I wonder if this E-series will be like Charm School, where they are intended to improve their behavior. I hope not, because like
I don't know about it.
Like what? Then what are we gonna bring Brandy Glanville back? Like, because then that's the type of people you need on here. You gonna sit here and tell New York how to act? Yeah. I don't know. And also, side note, I don't know. This might be like way too ratchet, and for me to even like have caught it. Did you see the Valentine's Day with Tommy from Love and Hip Hop, and she had that random like, I don't want to call him a small person, but like I don't know if he was or not. And she felt like he was breaking into her Airbnb, but then it came out that she actually knows him. I don't know. It was weird. And I'm just like, please don't put this on Zeus next season. I don't want this one. Like, you already doing Krishan. I don't want that. The imagery of that was not, it was given Leprechaun. It was given, sorry. I don't know. All right, let's get into Housewives. Real Housewives of New Jersey. I
felt like the episode was a bit of a snooze, but I came into an enjoyment of one of the new girls.
Okay.
Which one? I don't know her name. The blonde one. They were at her house.
Jennifer.
Is it Jennifer?
I'm pretty sure. Or Rachel. Jennifer or Rachel?
The young one? I don't think it's Rachel. Maybe it's Jennifer.
No, Rachel's the one with the dark hair. Sorry.
What the heck is the blonde's name? Whatever. The new blonde with the young kids and the hot husband.
Yeah, I like her. Wait, I'm trying to look through my notes, girl.
I'm so mad I don't remember her name, because the whole point, like, for me was like, oh my God, now I actually recognize her with her name.
Her mozzarella party?
Yes, her mozzarella party. And I'm receiving her, and apparently I didn't receive her as much as I thought I did, because I can't remember her name.
Yeah, because you wasn't Danielle.
Danielle, that's what it was.
Boom. Yeah, I liked her last week. I feel like she came across more genuine this week, so I was into her. I got confused, y'all, because I'm not gonna lie, I put 2 stories in my Real Housewives, and but shout out to Tyler Perry for donating $2.75 million to
keep the elderly in their homes.
Yeah. Oh my God, you guys.
That was beautiful.
We're gonna get through this because my voice is
the guy killing Jesse over there, y'all. Free him.
And not only that, but it was real hard out here because I had some tequila and I was like, but we had no mixers. But my nephews have them little. I need mixers. They have them little fruit cups with the pineapples, so I just use them little fruit cups, and I mixed it with some.
That's straight syrup.
Mm-hmm. And it tastes like it, but it's getting the juices going. All right. Jennifer leaves the party from last week. Dolores. My thing with Dolores and Jennifer, like, honestly, Jennifer and Adriana from Miami, put them on a show together. Put them on a girls' trip together. Because you want to talk about just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That would low-key be real entertaining.
I think that would be real entertaining because they are both drama queens.
Oh my God, she wasn't even looking at me. She's like half naked. Oh my God, she thinks she's so much better than everybody else. So dramatic. Like, it would be hilarious. Jennifer, you're losing a good person because Dolores is dope. And I feel like Dolores is being an angel right now in the fact that she hasn't, like, viciously ripped you to shred vocally.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, we already have Teresa. And I think I said this last week. It's like, even to the producers, I want to say this, like, we already have Teresa. And I even wrote on Ronnie's, because they do a review show too. You guys, you should check it out. But I wrote on his thing, I was like, I can't even defend Teresa at this point anymore, other than the fact of like, she's iconic, and we're just gonna let her be the old lady. She could be here sitting till she's blue in the face. Like, I want to get to, we're gonna see this to the funeral with Teresa. Like, that's just how I feel.
Who she is, what she is, and that's what she brings to the show. Jennifer, we don't need it. We don't want it. But I totally feel Dolores, like, because on the first occasion, letting her just walking away was dope, and then Dolores not, because Dolores wanted to put the pause on her at the mozzarella party. She was ready to put the pause on, and she didn't. So shout out to Dolores. But yeah, I need Jennifer, and I enjoyed Jennifer because I do think she kind of stirs it up a bit. So I don't want her gone. I think she's a valuable piece of the puzzle.
But friend of, like, they moved Jackie or whatever. Is it Jackie?
Yeah, they made Jackie a friend of.
Yeah, just a friend of, because it'll make her even want to continue being spicy, because she'll feel like she needs a place. It's like, but I'm not gonna lie. When her kid, what did her kid say about her nose? Damn it, I can't remember. But she was sitting with her kid, and the girl was like, "At least mine's natural," or something like that, and it was like.
And it's so funny too, because you look at the kids and they don't look anything like Jennifer anymore, because she's done so much to her face.
I know, and I always think about that with the Kardashians too, like, or just anyone who gets so much work done on themselves. Like, what is that feeling of like looking at old pictures of yourself? Like, I don't know.
And then looking at your kids, like, and seeing yourself, but then when you look in the mirror, you don't see yourself. Like, it's kind of a
like, you don't see yourself in your kid almost, or you see your old self in your child.
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting concept to me, but, and not in a negative way. I just am curious what that thought process is.
Because, like, specifically with the Kardashians, just because they're the most in our faces, I always wonder, because it's not like you do this. It's different if you're like young at like 12 and something happens to you and your face changes, whatever, and you have to do something. But you're grown-ups, like 25 and older, you have the face that you have, and then suddenly you don't. But maybe it was so incremental, like they just got used to seeing themselves, and the changes were small and in increments, so it just all made sense. But I just can't imagine like being a full adult and then looking in the mirror and suddenly your face is an entirely different face.
Yeah, and again, like, because I know sometimes it's like when you hear, like, me and Courtney think similar in certain things, right? So if you hear our conversation, it could come across like, I don't know, feeling like it's less than or whatever. And that's not the purpose. The purpose is like, I genuinely am interested, because even with like veneers, right? Like, I don't know. For me, I literally change my toothbrush out every 2 weeks. Like, and would want to every week, because the idea of like germs, and like, I don't understand like how we even got to the idea of just leaving your toothbrush out in an open bathroom. Like, and I don't know if you've seen the thing about the toilets and if you don't close the toilet, like the air is.
Oh, I just didn't know that wasn't a thing. Like, I thought everybody closed the toilet. Like,
no, I do too. But like, to see it out in public, and like how many people aren't aware of that, when my toothbrush is in a bathroom where multiple people use this, it like reminds you of like how nasty things are, right? So like with the veneers, like when I see people with veneers, and again, like, and this is gonna come off shady, I'm not even gonna try and front it, but like when I see people with veneers, I'm not gonna lie, like I just see Baby Shark, because I know what's underneath your teeth. Because like, I have a fake tooth, I'm not gonna lie, it's right over here in the back. But like, I floss the fuck out of that, like, because it's a fucking screw, and like, I don't know, like, it's just different. And so to change my entire mouth. And like now every time I look at my smile, it's not even teeth, and I can tell that they're fake teeth. Like even on that little of a level. Like I've always thought about wanting to get my nose done because I hate my nose. You know what I mean? Like I get compliments on it all the time. I personally hate it. And I've seen a guy with a very similar nose to me, and he just got his nose done and didn't change his face up that much. Like it now made me kind of look at him more like, you were cute before. Like, what do you feel? Like, I don't know. It's just interesting. I just am curious to hear that type of confidence of wanting that change or whatever. I would love to hear that conversation. And I'm going to do a body dysmorphia thing because I feel like that's a part of it. But sorry, just a whole nother side segment with that.
A little bit. It's okay. But
You
Jennifer.
But she looks like and I feel like we see that with a lot with these housewives, because even watching Jersey on Peacock, and I think you said this happened to you with whatever season was on before, but when you finish the episode on Peacock, they play an old episode of an old season, and like watching Potomac, honey, we should never be shading Giselle at this point because she has come a long way.
Oh, child.
All of them have come a long way, but like, and girl,
Giselle,
Karen Huger, the nerve you calling yourself the dame of anything back then.
Like Rhonj, when your wigs were at the back of your head, and yeah, it was whatever. It's all good. Whatever. You're on TV. You want to freshen it up and look a little more glamorous. I get it, because you know a lot of us had that same issue during COVID. You remember there was like all kind of reports about how facial plastic surgeries and things skyrocketed because people spent so much time in their homes on Zoom at work looking at themselves that they wanted to start adjusting their faces. There was like a whole article study that was done on how much facial stuff increased because of COVID.
Well, and we were on our phones watching filters and putting filters on our face, and
for sure. So I get it. Like, you know, it is what it is, but whatever.
I gotta say though, I'm not even mad. Normally I always want the girls to try to figure it out. Like even down in my heart, I want Teresa and Melissa to figure it out.
No, I do want them to figure it out because they're family and their parents are all dead and they have no other siblings. And I want that for them.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like with Dolores and Jennifer, girl, I wouldn't be mad at Dolores if he was just like, done. And I think what Dolores said was real. Like I just think like, look, we're cordial. Like when I'm here, like I'm not gonna fight you. Like fine, done. And yeah, keep it at that. I don't know why I wrote Rachel and John's stepmom convo. I liked that. I thought that was cute. I'm not I don't think I'm really into Rachel, to be quite honest.
I don't even know who that is. So
the dark-haired new girl with the guy with the painted-on beard.
Oh, yeah, she was. I remember her coming into the party because she had on like a ruffly top, and I thought it looked juvenile. And everybody's like, "Oh, you look so cute," and I was like, "She looks like," and she's in a 12-year-old's outfit, but whatever.
Also, I heard she's 30 years old, and I'm like, oh, all right.
Okay, girl.
Margaret's house, that was chaotic as the girls were coming in, and I loved it. Melissa talked about going to LA with Teresa, and she feels bad for Joe. And then we see Teresa and Jen meet up. Or we find out that Teresa and Jen met up with an old friend of Margaret's after.
Margaret's former best friend.
Her best friend. And I'm just like, Jennifer, how do you think Margaret found out about this? Like, are we not assuming Teresa told Margaret? Because how's Teresa not dragged into this? And she, like, Jennifer, you're not realizing, like, both of you guys went there, but you're the one getting, I don't know. It's weird. And it's just like exhausting. Dolores and Paul.
And it's juvenile. Just for the record, like, so say for instance, you and I have a falling out. Like, are you gonna go and like, hey Isabel, I
Already
got
know.
some heat on Courtney? Like, who does that in real life? Like, who does that?
No. The effort of like, and this is the thing, you guys, like, ego is such a thing. It really, really freaking is. Because, Jennifer, how many children do you have?
Yeah, she got like 5, 4.
Like, and you out here like, hey, Teresa girl, like, and that makes me question, like, what trauma happened in high school that you feel you have to keep reliving this gossipy
And also simultaneously, like,
maliciousness?
because she also simultaneously continuously says, oh my God, I've got kids. I have a family. I don't have time to be doing that. Clearly you do, bitch. You went and had a whole meeting with this lady. If that broad had reached out to me, I would have been like, yeah, no. Bye.
She got the time. This episode made me like Paul a lot more. I like Dolores and Paul together.
Dolores and Paul. Yes. I like him. I'm into it. I like his house. I like his energy, and she seems gooey over him, and I like that. I want people to be gooey. One day I'm going to be gooey again too. Or maybe we can say gooey for the first time, because I don't think I've ever really been gooey.
I've never been gooey.
You were kind of gooey.
Girl, I was delusional.
You were gooey, but you were gooey.
I was as my friend Mike would say, cooked. I was cooked. I wasn't gooey. I was baked, cooked, fried, melted.
The goo was a little misplaced, but
I say I'm gooey now, but he ain't gooey.
I can be gooey now. I want to be gooey now. I have like
he ain't gooey for me. But I had me a little date. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you had a date, Jesse? Why are we talking about these boring ass housewives? We supposed to be talking about your date, honey.
It was cute. But it wasn't Valentine's Day because I got sick on Valentine's Day, but it was cute. Or whatever. But all right, let's talk about this mozzarella party though.
Mozzarella bumped the party. That mozzarella was real nice.
First of all, that mozzarella, I didn't understand what she was saying. Mozzarella, like when she first was saying, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? And then when I realized it was the cheese and the way that man popped that hot cheese off that, whatever that thing's called.
I don't even know, but when they did the stretch and he was just like, eat you some, girl, and like you just like scoop it out, and I was into it. I was here for it. Give me some mozzarella.
Okay, and I would have been Greek as hell with the oregano on the side, like.
Come on.
And again, exhausting episode because I feel like this party, it was like Jennifer is just running around screaming. I'm exhausted of the Jennifer storyline. I just am.
And then she feels like she has a fight with everybody, and it's just, girl, stop. It ain't that serious.
She can't take accountability because even with the new girl, when Danielle was like, I tried telling you, she was like, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. You were coming at me. Like, girl, stop. Like, the fact that I feel like your children raise you is wild. And your husband, your poor husband, looks...
Oh, Bill. He be looking tired.
Like, you know what? I wish I didn't cheat on you that time, because then maybe I wouldn't have the guilt to walk away from all this right now and had put the dick back in you, girl, and had all these kids.
Yeah.
Because Bill looked tired. And I feel it.
Tired. Yeah.
I feel it. All right. Real Housewives of Miami.
Miami.
I mean, I'll say this episode was better than what we got over in Jersey this week. But it started out with Julia pissing me off because, like, your best friend is Adriana. So why are we starting? You're mad that Larsa brought up the witch thing to the girls. It wasn't a secret. It's kind of funny. You guys all talk about everything that all of you guys do. I don't think it's that weird that Larsa, I don't think Larsa said it in a malicious way. I think more so Larsa said it in like a way like, girl, she thinks it's black magic, like joking, like, because what? I don't think Larsa genuinely believes in witchcraft, black magic, stuff like that. So to me, I felt like it was Larsa just being a Giselle. Let's move the storyline around. It's funny, like, girl, she's out here saying this, whatever. But for Julia to say, Larsa always has to show her ass off and put it in your face, everyone's face. It's like, girl.
Well, when she was talking about Larsa ass, though, she said, like, she was actually complimenting that it was no stretch marks, and if you got it, put it out there. Like, it started off like,
yeah, but then it was like a backhanded compliment, kind of, because it was like you were upset about her always putting it out in people's faces, but I feel like Adriana does that too, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think both of them are beautiful, but why do you have, like, why? It's like Larsa could come out with a pink t-shirt and they're like, why is she wearing a freaking pink t-shirt? She's got the braids, she's got the pink t-shirt, she's got a fat ass, and it's just like, girl, what? Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm getting randomly Ronnie over here. And
you get real randomly Ronnie, because I'm sorry, Larsa was good until we got to the table and she brought up the bitch comment.
Okay, well, wait, we'll get to that. So then Adriana wants to talk to Marisol about her cholesterol. Which was scary, because whatever number she did say was like, okay, girl. And then Adriana brings up that, and she brought it up out of spite because you were upset last week when you were talking to Alexia, how you felt Marisol pulls Alexia away from you. So then you came out to say that Marisol's ex tried taking you out after they broke up, and she said, but I was loyal. Ma'am, if you were loyal, I would have known the story. End of story. You're outing yourself in a very weird way. Because why am I getting this information? How many years later? What was your take?
It's so hard because, like, look, I said this when we first started doing this episode. I think that it's very obvious that Adriana is a wounded woman. Like, it is very obvious that she is wounded. And that doesn't excuse when she misbehaves. So but it's also hard because I also think that her dynamic with Alexia and Marisol is very obviously a Mean Girls situation. And I think in instances, they both have justifications that make sense for why they behave that way. But in the end, it still ends up being 2-on-1 and a Mean Girl situation with a girl that just wants to be accepted and feel like she's loved. So again, it doesn't excuse anyone's misbehavior, including Adriana's, but I understand what she was trying to say, but I understand also that she is wounded and kind of crazy. And so the way she went about it was just not it. Like, and it was that constant frenemies game that they all play with each other, the three of them specifically, not the whole group. I think the three of them, and I feel like it was that way in the old seasons as well. There was something always a little bit off about the relationship between Marisol, Adriana, and Alexia, and it goes way back. So it's sad because, like, I feel Adriana's pain throughout this whole episode.
No, and I do too, but it's like, and again, here's the thing, Courtney, that I thought about this entire episode. You and me are just we just love people different, like not differently, but like differently than a lot of what I've realized a lot of people do, because I think we appreciate certain things of people and we know where to accept things. Like again, now Adriana to Jennifer, Adriana a million times, because like, sorry Jennifer, I can't sit in that car. I cannot sit on that car ride. It would drive me insane. Adriana, there is a redeemable thing about her. There is something redeemable about Jennifer, but I know Jennifer's never going to get it. Adriana gets it, but she can't. Her pain is so strong, which I feel like is very similar with Marisol, and I think that's where those two butt heads. Their pain is so strong, and I have to switch over to you, Courtney, because I'm going to have a choke attack right now, so.
Don't choke. Yeah, it's always that thing too, that like, especially in a trio of girlfriends, like the two that are close, and then there's always the one sometimes that is kind of out, and it's like Alexia is sort of the glue for the two of them. One will feel away when the other one is pulling Alexia in a direction over the other. But Alexia can also be very cold and cruel, because even when back, what was it, 2 episodes ago or last episode, when Adriana was like, well, yeah, home dude ghosted me after the way you treated him, and Alexia's response was, bueno, it wasn't going to work anyway, or something like that, like, good, he ain't, whatever. It's like, but sis, like, that's supposed to be your friend, like,
right. But at the same time, again, Alexia and Adriana, they're just as fucking crazy. Like,
agreed.
you have, like, when Alexia's saying bueno, like in her mind she's like, good girl, like get over it, like, well, let's move on to the next thing, like, which is ignorant to obviously Adriana's feelings. But I also feel like it's like, Adriana, yes, Alexia's flaws, but sometimes, like, as a friend, you can know your friend's flaws and they can know your flaws, but they can't see that. But it's hard for them to understand it themselves. And you either accept that, or that person works on it if it's that big of an issue. And I feel like this trip or this season, Adriana's really going through it. Like, that attention, now that seeing this episode makes a lot more of the beginning of the season makes sense for Adriana, because I feel like she's, I hope we're going to get a bigger story as to maybe her opening up as to if she's done any work to figure out where this is coming from. But
well, I think she I mean, I don't know if she's done any work to like help what she's going through, but I think she made it pretty clear in this episode that she's lonely and she is feeling like she has no one. And the relationship, the marriage that fell apart, she didn't feel like her friends supported her through that, which they clearly said they didn't. They heard about it and didn't reach out. And so she is definitely in that, like, I'm 55, I might die alone, and I don't want to die alone, and I don't understand why I can't be loved the way because they've always had this like snooty, like, Alexia married money and Marisol with money, and like, and they've always had this thing with Adriana about money and situations and whatever. So when she was talking about how, like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't, marry the right man. I'm sorry I didn't marry the right man with the right amount of money. I'm sorry I didn't, like, so I think that she's already kind of revealed, like, her feelings of what her shortcomings are and what's causing her to feel the way that she currently feels, and wants her friends to be there. Because as far as I know, she's never talked about family other than her son.
No, yeah, you're right.
Even in the previous, like, old seasons, I don't remember anything about her family from Brazil or any of that. So I don't know that they don't exist, but it seems like she is quite a bit like, my friends are my family, and that would explain a lot of her, like, and even when they're mocking her, oh girl, you just want attention, yes, she does, but it's coming from somewhere. And if you're actually her friend, then you understand that, like, I have friends that You meet them where they are if you actually are their friend.
But I also wonder too, it's like, Adriana, are you going to these girls in moments that are, because if every time they're finding these things out, it's always in a moment of like craziness of release, it feels like, it can feel like, and this is something I've learned too, like, you go through something traumatic and then you show yourself sometimes deeper, or sometimes you are the strong person in your friend group or something like that, and it's like, so you don't share certain things. And I feel like, Adriana, are you sharing these things? Like, are you going to these girls' houses and just wanting that genuine connection with these girls, or are you only doing that with Julia? You know what I mean? Like, because you do feel some sort of, because you are lonely and you see Larsa, and maybe there is, and sometimes you have to own up to it. Sometimes you have to say, like, maybe I am a little bitter towards this person. I don't know who out of the group, but whatever. And maybe that is why I do have a wall up with them. And maybe if I actually did try to sit down and explain to them why I feel like this, you know what I mean? Like, this whole thing with Alexia, it's like, this conversation should have been happened. Like, this is like years of friendship, like, and we're doing this like on this trip right now, like, fine, but like, why are we having the conversation, right? Because now that you've had the conversation, instead of now pinpointing every issue that you have and that's going on, it's like, how do you say, let me meet both of you guys, meet each other 50-50? Because I'm sorry, that whole rage release ritual dinner thing was like, and it just reminded me when Courtney was like, why every housewives gotta have to do some sort of like shaman,
some kind of meditation, somebody like, what are we doing? But that was comical because of Kiki. But
but there Adriana tried blaming the Marisol thing on Larsa, and it felt like,
well,
no, go ahead, because I want to know, because I didn't catch it, and to me it felt like the conversation, like, and I was working at the same time, so personally I felt like the conversation needed to be held between Adriana and Marisol, and then it felt like a point towards Larsa. So you explain.
So when they got into it at the table with Adriana and Larsa, Larsa had brought up when Adriana was they were getting massages, and Adriana was like, bitch, you didn't ask what was going on in my life. And Larsa, in her communication at the table, communicated that essentially Adriana said, you fucking bitch, about Alexia. And that's not what happened. When Adriana, and I know this is like semantics and arguing semantics, but when they cut back to the clip and you see Adriana laying on the table and she sits up, well, bitch, you never asked me about my life, basically. That is not the same context as what Larsa.
$1,000,000% agree. Yep, I get it. I remember seeing you saying, yes.
And I think that's also what was a trigger for Adriana, is because she feels like, yo, that's not what I was communicating at all. And you're turning this into something else again. And now you're making it conflict that it doesn't have to be, because we already have enough conflict. And that's when I was like, no longer Team Larsa in this episode. Because I'm like, girl, that's not how she said that at all. Like, and you made this a whole thing. And now Alexia is acting all devastated that she was called a bitch. And she wasn't even really called a bitch. It was like a flippant. It was literally like an emoticon. Like, she was being expressive. She wasn't even necessarily directing it, being like, you are a freaking bitch. But anyway, I just thought that was real whack of Larsa. When there's already so much conflict for them to deal with, you literally made it even more conflict and tried to act like, oh my God, of course you said that. That's definitely what you said. And I felt bad because the woundedness of Adriana trying to defend herself constantly and not being able to she's not great at expressing herself to begin with in terms of like getting out the sentences. And then she throws the water and turns it into a whole other kind of party. And it's a whole mess. And I felt bad because I was like, it literally was like a child who has been like just unable to express themselves properly, and nobody's listening to her actually trying to express what she meant. And when she's saying what she meant, she's also being told that's not what she meant. And maybe I just took that personal because I hate that. When somebody's trying to tell you what you meant when you said something and you like, absolutely not, that is not what I meant. And this is what I meant. And this is how I felt about it. But they're like, well, no, you said it. Well, maybe what you heard was not what I was trying to say. And she couldn't get it out properly.
No, I
And so
agree. And you know, it's funny you say that because in this episode, I forget what the argument Alexia was doing, but was that I had this thought. And with this argument we're talking about, it made me realize Larsa is the Giselle. Like, Larsa is the one that truly, Larsa and Marisol are the two, like, they have two on this team, but it's like Larsa is the Giselle. She is the one dropping the random bombs, and we saw that when she went and talked to Nicole. I felt like the whole thing with Nicole, they know exactly what game they're both playing. And like Nicole's first comment about the witchcraft thing, it was like, oh, girl, you know what this is? This is trying to be good, but you got to throw the witchcraft thing in there. But then I feel like they genuinely were just like, okay, I ain't really trying to have this with you. And they squashed it. And I genuinely feel like with them, now they know how to deal with each other. Whereas Alexia, I feel like she's the Robin of the series because it's like she tries, I think a lot of her antics, and I feel like the fucked up part with Alexia is you're playing reality TV with someone genuinely, I do think she genuinely cares about Adriana and wants that friendship, but I believe she allowed the show to kind of sun her. Like, and when I say sun her, like, again, make Adriana feel less than and down. And you don't even play it right. At least Larsa, I feel like, does it in a more casual way where Alexia comes across, I don't know, just kind of really crazy and mean. And I feel like this episode, for me, the most telling thing that Adriana said was, you know, I could die and no one would find me for days. And
that was so sad.
That, I can't say anything negative. I can't, again, as it would be like a Jen Shaw thing, like, oh, girl, you could kill someone at this point. I'm going to be friends with you. Because I feel bad. Like, you are just a hurt person.
And she's one of those people that's like, you know, it's so clear that she has been let down by multiple people that she thought were going to be there for her. And I'm laughing just because it's sad because she's a woman of a particular age. This world is not kind to single women, as we talked about earlier with Chelsea and Rihanna and all of this sexism. And culturally, I'm sure it's just as bad because of the, Latin, Spanish culture-ness of it all, and having a man, and how it's almost like Alexia like dangles the fact that she has a man that takes care of her over Adriana to make her feel less than. And I don't know that it's intentional, but it does come off that way. And I don't know how anybody, like, how y'all can keep being mean to this lady. She obviously she needs support. And I know it's annoying because everybody's had the friend that is a drama queen or is always whatever. But like, it's so like you can't watch a grown ass woman with a whole child, 50 plus years old, breaking down talking about she could be dead for days and nobody would know. That is a legit real fear. And maybe it's because these people have never been single or whatever. Like, I'm a single woman. I understand that. Like, I think about sometimes if I'm in the shower, if I fell and like busted my head and like died, nobody would know for quite some
I
time.
know. I think about it too, girl. I'm not gonna lie. I
It was
be,
like my sister might be like, yo, I haven't heard from Courtney today. But like she wouldn't immediately be like, yo, that bitch might be dead. Like it could take a couple days before somebody was like, oh, something is up. So anyway, I just think it's a legit fear and it's just unkind to continue to be unkind to her or be annoyed in her face about it or mock her for it because it's
yeah,
real.
the mocking is, that's where it's like, for me, I feel like that's where Adriana then lashed out. You know,
Yeah.
before she lashed out, she is absorbing what she considers mocking, right? And what she considers hurtful. And again, Alexia may not consider it that.
Of course she doesn't.
But you have to acknowledge what somebody's saying to you.
Yes.
And
It's
so
called
then,
compassion. She has no compassion.
right.
Alexia
Well, she has it for her son. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe again, and I don't try to like default to the fact we obviously don't see every single moment on television. So maybe it is just they are out of F's to give about Adriana because it's been so dramatic for so long. So I will give them a percentage of possibility that that is the case. But at the same time, I'm just like, you looking real left, to me at least, on camera, that like this lady is clearly falling apart and you just like, I'm annoyed. I'm over her. Like, then don't pretend like you're her friend.
Exactly.
Like keep it real. Like keep it real. We ain't friends. I don't like you for real. You get on my nerves. And then she doesn't have the expectation that possibly you are her friend and would be there for her.
Again, I feel like there was a chain. Like, Adriana's feeling this hurt, so what she does, it's almost like a repetitive cycle. Before she attacks, she plays victim. So then, as we saw when Kiki was peeing in the water and screaming, and to me, the fact Kiki isn't a housewife and she's just a friend of is wild to me, because I feel like I want to know what this woman's life is. I'm like,
why don't we know more about Kiki? Like, they have given not enough.
Personally, she's more interesting than 3 of the other girls on the show, to be quite honest. Like, when I say that, intrigued, I'm like, I want to know. Maybe her life's actually boring. I don't know. But, like, I want to find out now. So at this point, let's make her.
Like, don't keep giving us nuggets without giving us, like, okay, now we know her husband or somebody cheated. Like, we want to know.
Right, because that was passion that we saw tonight. And to see that from her, I was like, Kiki she be giving us real moments.
Real moments. Since that Burger King, I was done. And I was like, Kiki is life.
Okay, randomly, Ronnie said, Kiki peeing on the beach. Yep, she was. Yep. He said, Courtney's 100% right that friends that our family comment was very telling.
Yeah.
He said,
and a lot of us are transplants and stuff. And like, she's clearly not, she's Brazilian. And I'm pretty sure she was living in Brazil, like born in Brazil, not in Miami. So like if she does have family, maybe it's back in Brazil. So she's been on her own, like trying to make it in this world.
He said, every time I see Adriana's unkept hair, I think of Larsa saying, she looks unhoused at the Versace mansion.
That was some funny shit.
Unhoused is a very interesting comment.
It looks like unhoused.
All right, so while this is all happening, Kiki screaming, you know, the girls are drunk. It was a bit of a Heather Gay, Jen Shaw drunk moment, and they bump into Adriana, and she tells them her foot's broken, and she's in a wheelchair at one point. Julia's rolling her around.
No, wait, the scene when Julia at the beach still, and she got the stick, and she's holding on to Julia walking with the stick. I was done.
And like Julia trying to make it sound like it was an attack. It's like, you literally were in the middle of an exercise to like release negativity.
Yes.
for someone who went and bought the rocks to be positive, like, that's a real negative thought, girl.
Yeah.
Which then she then overheard the girls talking about the rocks, because the girls did think there was black magic, so they called the actual store, and the girl was like, I think your friend's confused as to what kind of store she thought this was. These are just rocks, girl. Like, the herbs and all that, like, it ain't what y'all think it is. And Julia was upset. But then within Julia being upset, and this is always so funny to me, the balance of when Julia likes the girls and when Adriana likes the girls, because Julia was upset about the rock thing, but then Adriana was like, but I do love how you guys dance to my song. And, you know, she's like loving, she's just feeling it. She's like, yes, they're giving me attention. And I wrote, she's just giving me narcissist, and I feel like it was created from trauma and abandonment. And
100%. But Ronnie just commented something. He said, I don't know how anyone could be a Julia stan. Couldn't be me. I'm gonna tell you right now, I love me some Julia. But I'm gonna explain to you why. Look, the lady is a little kooky for sure. Okay. But when she was sitting at that table and she was trying to be real stern and real matter of fact, because she's like one of them real happy people that you meet that be getting on your last nerve.
Yep.
But you can't even be mean to them for real because they so damn happy and they so nice. Like, you just can't be mean to them. But Alexia lacks that ability. And so when she's pointed at Alexia talking about, girl, oh, you think you're going to come for me? I will tell you, I gave you happy rocks. And Alexia's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then Julia's like, you're with your barracuda face? We need a Julia. Like, we need her. Like, because it's a mess. Like, she literally is like, I'm just trying to bring rainbows and butterflies. And they keep shitting on me. So
okay, the only thing I will say that made me like Julia was when Adriana had to, last week, when she had to copy, like, mimic Julia. And she explained, she was like, she basically is like a younger Julia Charles, and she did her impression. And it made me, I feel like, understand Julia more. I was like, she really is like that. Like, she's like, got the chicken, she's got a farm. Like, she's just different. She's just different.
She's a little quirky. She's also somebody that just wants the girls to accept her and love her. And she had a goat in some overalls, y'all, on TV, like, as her dog. Like, she brought a goat to a dog event and then had a dog at a farm event. Like, the lady's whatever. But you can't be mad at her. You can't hate on her. Julia is just trying, and it's funny as hell to me. I'm sorry. I think it's great. And when they did the split screen of the Barracuda and Alexia, I was done.
And then finally we got Adriana telling the girls that they don't care about her foot accident and that accidents have consequences. Just look at Frankie.
Yeah. Terrible, Adriana. Girl, you went too far. That's why it's like you try to be with your girl, try to be compassionate, try to look. You know you did not need to say that.
And that's you pulled a Larsa. You pulled a Larsa because, again, it's like that thing I say about Larsa, love her, but, you know, and I did write this too. I wrote Larsa, when Larsa was like, I don't get why people think, like, it was like, girl, you stir the pot. Like, I don't even be in people's business like that. And then they did the clips of her in everyone's business. Like, Larsa, you do, and that's okay. Like, just be the Giselle about it. Because at least I feel like you're like in between of Giselle and not Nene. But, like, it's like more entertaining than what Giselle's giving. Because you're like in it, but you're not fully in it. It's weird. It's not, you're not fully there, but you're doing it. It's weird. But just admit that you do it. Just admit that you do it.
Raise your hand.
But with this comment, it was like,
I love that the camera went around to all the girls like,
well, it's just like, girl, you just dropped the Marisol stuff at the beginning of the episode, and then you said this stuff. Like the other thing about like when Larsa does it, it's like it's usually one per episode. And
Yeah.
and it's like a dang, like, you know what I mean? Like for most part you can kind of like balance it out and be like, well, it was just that one time. The other time you're like, okay. But like this was like this episode, Adriana, was not your episode. It was your episode, but like not your episode.
And you ruined your chance. Like you could get us all on your side because Alexia and Marisol are mean to you. Like they
Yes,
are.
1,000,000% agreed.
Like, girl, but like you can't. No, why? And don't bring up the baby that he was in a major accident. He is literally mentally. I don't know if mentally disabled is the proper term for that. He is mentally challenged now because of the accident. Like you can't compare that to your sprained foot that you just got the Bahamian men to carry you around for, sis. Like
Right.
you will walk again. You will walk again. Like
And again, not only that, but you deliberately right here chose the one thing that you knew was gonna like
a dagger.
Gonna emotionally make her. You did that purposely.
Yes,
and
hurt people, child.
Yeah. But well, that's all we got because Potomac wanted to be whacked this week. But shout out to you guys in the comments. Appreciate you. If you guys watch this and you guys made it all the way to here and you haven't subscribed yet, I'm gonna need you to do that. Support, please. Thank you. Courtney, where can everyone follow you and keep in contact?
Everybody can follow me as Stuart Starlet. You might find me in the Bahamas real soon because I do like that resort, and the men's was looking nice carrying her around. So I was like, well, maybe I need to get carried around for a little bit, get my spirits up, so I can feel good.
Is Beyonce performing on tour down there? Cause
I wish. No, we still ain't got no ticket.
It's all right, girl. I'm gonna be out there next week. We gonna figure it out together.
Oh my god,
Ronnie, are you?
It stresses me out. So, yes.
Ronnie says, "Oh, what did he say?"
Ooh! He done brought up the Kardashians. Oh, that's Ryan.
Ryan said that's probably why the Kardashians don't fuck with her anymore. Oh, I could see that.
I could totally see that
because I feel like Kim is like, girl, you can try that with everyone else, but like you pulled the dagger out this time.
Like, no, we're not doing that. And no, Ronnie, you cannot bring up Basketball Wives.
Are you watching basketball? Have you watched it? Did the new season start yet?
I think it started this week or something. I ain't watched it, no.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I dropped that like after Buzz years. Sorry about it.
I dropped Basketball Wives because I just can't. I can't.
And I know you guys want me to do the Baddies West review, and
good luck, y'all.
Look. Well, no, because once I get to California, I don't have Zeus and I ain't paying for it. So I might go see these 3 episodes because I think there's 3 episodes, and I'll watch those 3 episodes, and then I'll maybe possibly tell you guys how I feel about it next week.
Not they fighting in the chat, honey.
But after that, Larsa didn't need the Kardashians. Ronnie, I know you lying.
Ronnie, you funny, honey.
I need you to like. Let's not be.
I'll give this credence to what he's saying. Larsa brought them into helped bring them into their blackfishing.
Really? Because I feel like the Olivia Pearson and what's her Natalie Halcrow girl from the WAGs, because those are the girls that do her social media, and Kim be having them propped up, and those girls are whatever tanner they use. It must be called Stealth of a Black Woman, because
but they came later.
They've been doing her stuff for like for almost 10 years.
But Kardashians and Larsa roll back with the basketball boys and getting them in. Like, I think she was kind of part of how they all like
started out
in the crowd together.
Okay.
The black men, the athletes, the blackfishing.
Yeah, I mean, they instantly, I would assume they'd be besties. Like,
it makes sense.
you know. But I feel like Courtney Kim was like, girl, I'm growing up. Like, hi, law school, bye. What are you still doing? Oh, you're still doing that show? Cute. Yeah, I'm doing my show. Named after me. But thanks for saying that thing, girl. Now I see how you really are because I watch you on the show.
All of them still simultaneously saying, yeah, this was totally my butt. Whatever.
Just it's like all the girls say they're not doing, what is it called? Ozempic? Which?
Well, I heard a whole good conversation about it yesterday with a trainer and a doctor. Basically, because I was like, well, do I need to get some, child? Because this weight ain't coming off. But the side effects aren't worth it, and also,
it's horrible. The side effects are horrible.
They're horrible side effects, and like 90% of the people gain the weight back in a year to a year and a half.
Yes, and you should not do it for a long time. Like, look, if you're like celebrity-wise, like if you're gonna do it like in between, and you shouldn't do it. There's many other ways. Just fucking fast for a fucking 3 days. Work out. But like, I just watched a thing on it too because I have friends that are into it, that are curious about it, and the thing is like, look, if you're like an actor and you're doing it in 2 weeks you got to be somewhere, in a month you have to be somewhere like that, I can understand that. But these people that are doing it like routinely, TikTok, okay, like you search it on TikTok and there are women on there that, like everyday women that are doing this because they're seeing the Kardashians do it or whoever's talking about it and the reactions that are happening from it. It's not good. It's just not worth it.
It's gonna be what, like 1992 all over again? What was it, Fen or whatever, that people started like having heart problems and whatever, that because it was a diet drug, everybody was like, oh, it totally works, and then like people were dropping dead and stuff. Like, it's not good, guys. You should stop.
Yeah, and like also the other part about it is, and I know we've lived in this world, but like I was dead ass. My nephew was watching TV in the kitchen and I'm like in like the eating area and I'm in the kitchen cooking, and it's like midday and he's watching like Coco Melon on YouTube and the ad comes on and it was an Ozempic ad and it was like a catchy song.
Ozempic, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm getting old and I'm really acting like these kids are mine because I was mad. I was like, what? Because the thing is,
those before, because it was a freaking diabetes drug. Those
no, I get it, but now that it means something else, because the thing is like my nephew is running around here singing catchphrases like the State Farm, not State Farm, what's the one where they're in front of the Statue of Liberty, whatever that thing is, like he'd be saying all the little commercials and stuff, but then he started singing like drug commercials and I'm like, okay, like now we got to change something because I don't want my nephew fucking,
it's a whole new world, child.
Right, he already don't want to eat food, so I don't need him looking up Ozempic thinking this gonna be a way.
Terrible.
So yeah, but all that, look how we just, girl, I could talk to you.
Another conversation, child.
I could talk to you all my life. All right, you guys can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J, us up at Next Mood Swing across all social media platforms. I'm getting the fuck off here. You guys can hear my voice, and I'm a mess right now, and I cannot believe I blew a snot rocket live on here. But that's all right. We're like family.
I gotta go pack. We got to go.
Girl, all right. I love you. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.